Timothy Ruggiero, R-U-G-G-I-E-R-O. First, I would like to apologize to the three of you that you have to be here once again putting up with us and the same complaints. I think instead, Mark Vickery and Brian Shaw, John Sadlier should be sitting here. Their absence is noted. Instead of telling you the same story that I told you the last time that I was here and that everybody knows, I wanted to address one other thing that I think the TCEQ should take a look at. I have notes from a meeting between Aruba Petroleum executives and their $700 an hour attorneys and Mr. Sadlier, along with Kathleen Decker, head TCEQ attorney. And in Mr. Sadlier's notes, he's writing down what Aruba is telling him regarding emissions. We have complained and complained and complained about constant levels of emissions on our property. What Mr. Sadlier wrote down was that Aruba Petroleum moved on an air quality consultant company to measure vapor from a release valve so they know what size vapor recovery system to purchase and install. Apparently, Aruba Petroleum doesn't know what a vapor recovery system actually is because they installed a 30-foot flare instead. We now have the compressor station 600 feet from our door. And I think the reason that industry is very reluctant to install vapor recovery systems, what they will tell you is that there has to be so much gas to be able to recover to make it worth their while. I think the truth of the matter is that the industry knows that their wells do not produce for as many years as they would like to have us believe. They will tell us that part of the reason they don't want to install vapor recovery devices because it takes about 3 years on average for them to get their money back on what they put into a vapor recovery device. Their wells don't last 3 years. They drop as much as 50% or more in production in the first year. I have at least 14 gas wells around where we live. One of them is operated by Encana, about 600 feet away. It is less than 2 years old. It was one of their larger producing wells. They are about to shut it in because it is producing next to nothing. Aruba Petroleum's 2 wells on our property and the one across from us on another property are constantly being worked on by crews every week. They have now installed a lift compressor to help with the production. When I first started looking at production reports, they were in the 300,000s of million cubic feet a month. For the month ending May, they are down to 143 million cubic feet. Those wells are drying up, and they're drying up fast, and those wells are less than 2 years old. So I think what we need to take a look at, what I would ask to do is that simply is, if we could, is to simply enforce the law. And the one in particular, no person shall discharge from any source whatsoever 1 or more air contaminants or combinations thereof in such concentration or of such duration that as are or may tend to be injurious or to be adversely affect human health or welfare, animal life, vegetation or property, or as to interfere with the normal use and enjoyment of animal life, vegetation, or property. If that law wasn't being violated every single day, we would not be here tonight. So what I would ask is that the TCEQ needs to stop playing games and patty cake with the operators and please enforce the law. Thank you.